Look at that. It's freaking raining outside. I wanted to go out and have our lesson today outside, but it's raining. Rain kept us in. We're going to be inside. Fellas, Cheap Ass Guy here. Today I'm going to be Professor Cheap Ass, and you're in Dating 101. Today you're in my Dating 101 course, and today's topic is going to be online dating. It's going to be online dating and the 5 types of women that are on. Well, this is going to be hard for you to see, but I'm going to explain it on this video. Okay, there's basically 5 types of women on websites. You got your number 1, your ideal woman, but she's too picky and she has mental problems. 2, your Russian, African, Nigerian scams. 3, women, the 3rd type, type 3, women who may meet you or may give you a phone number if you're lucky, only if they think you have a lot of money. We're going to get into that. The 4th type of woman is, if you're lucky, again, only 3%. 3%, fellas. Only 3%. That's not good. This is the type of woman you want to look for. It's called the meet in the middle woman. And then 5, the dying off type, 2% women that you wouldn't give the time of day. Okay, let's get a start in this lesson. First of all, you are going to want to just look at it in things not in your perspective. That's the problem. Not your perspective, but their perspective. Okay, what that means is you have to look at things their way, not your way. Because this way is not going to get you anywhere. You have to look at things in their perspective, and that's with anything. To achieve, you have to think outside the box. You have to think outside the box. Okay? Which means you're going to have to, unfortunately, spend a lot of time and maybe money. But if it's not Match.com, I wouldn't even bother. I really don't like to spend money. You really shouldn't spend money, and I'm not endorsing Match.com. But try not to spend money. But if you do have to spend money, just get a one-time, 1-month membership if you do have to. You should not have to spend money. I repeat, never spend money just to meet women online. Meeting women should be free. So if it's not free, don't do it. But if you have to, it should be Match.com. This is where mostly all of the real women go because they're screened more. But there's still rip-offs, Nigerian scams, Russian scams on all of these sites. So, first of all, you have to be tolerant. Most of all, you have to be tolerant. You have to be patient. And you have to be flexible. You have to be flexible, meaning you may not get any phone numbers. You may not get pulled any dates. But you have to be flexible, meaning you're going to have to get ready for failure. Because guess what? Only 3% of women out there that are on these sites are actually even obtainable. And that's even if you're lucky. 3%. Less than 3% actually. Most of the women out there are so-called women, 55%, are Russian and Nigerian scams. Okay? Unfortunately. So let's go through type 1. These are your ideal women. They have themselves together financially, physically, and socially. They're some of the most attractive, beautiful women. These are your ideal women. There's one catch. They're super picky, and they have mental issues. And these are the type of women that'll never find a man, because no man is ever going to be good enough or perfect enough for them. So they're going to keep staying on the site day after day, year to year. They're never ever going to find anybody. Okay. Type 2. Type 2 is the Russian and Nigerian African scams. Okay? And, like I said, these are the obvious reasons. They'll never meet you. They only want your money. They will always ask you for your phone number. Not your phone number, but your email address. So they can email you, and many a times they're not even female, they're men. Posing as women behind other women's photos that a lot of the times these men don't even know, especially the ones from Africa, Nigeria specifically. These men, African men, Nigerian men, they go on these sites, they go ahead and steal women's, usually it's a white woman, Caucasian woman, American woman. They steal their photos, and they put them on their profile, posing as these men, these men, African men, posing as either European or American women, saying that they're on some sort of bullshit mission in Africa, blah, 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 blah. It's the same old shit. These people have mental issues. They're stupid, but they're still on there. I guess I don't know what their problem is, but they'll never meet you. You'll never find a woman this way. All they want is your money. You send them your money. You send them your money, and you'll never hear from them again. Same thing basically with the Russians. Except the Russians, it might actually be the woman, but the Russians, what the Russians do is they pretty much write on the Russian name, okay, because they know that there's a lot of Russian bride orders, and a lot of Americans still don't know about Russia in general, so they exploit that and use that. So don't be fooled by the Russians either, because they're just as bad as the Nigerians. Okay? Just look out for that. All they want is your money. They ask for your email address with no effort. They just message you, okay, on their own. First thing they do is, and all they do is ask for your email address so you can get there, give them your email address, you email them, then they start talking some silly shit, and don't fall for it, and then start to tell you, oh, something came up, my grandma's sick, blah, 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 my dog needs an operation, and then ask you for money. Don't fall for it. Don't be stupid. Okay, enough of that. Okay. Third type of woman is the type of woman, it's about 20%. They're almost as bad as the African scam, but not as bad. They're almost bad as the type 1, because at least this type might give you your 20%. They usually may give you their phone number, but you're not going to go far with it. The only way you might go far with it is only one condition. If, and only if, they think you have a lot of money. And if you don't fit the standard on money, they're not going to even talk to you. So, let's go down a rundown of the traits of this type 3 woman. This type 3 women. These type 3 women are the type, basically, who are only, they're not looking for companionship. They're only looking for one thing, and that's money. They only want to use you for your money. They mostly, almost always, have children already from previous relationships. They usually are not the most attractive women. These women only talk to you only if they think you have boatloads of money, okay, to give to them, to support them and their children from other men, that they had from other men, other relationships. They're looking for a man to pay their way on everything, put their kids through college, do things like put all their kids through college, and pay all their bills. Okay? So, if you like these types of women, fine, more power to you, but I don't. Dating these types of women is always going to be a nuisance, because they are always going to bring up money, and money is going to always be an issue with these women. And anyway, these are the type of women that will cheat on you anyway, because they're prostitutes. I mean, they're no better than prostitutes. These are the slouchy, sleazy women, types of women that are slouchy, sleazy. They may turn behind your back a lot of the times, and they have relationships with men who are broke, who they like, really like. But they go ahead and they turn behind your back and cheat on you anyway, even when you do pay them. These are dangerous types of women. Stay away as far as possible. Okay, then you have, I'm not going to go through type 4, because this is the type of woman you want to shoot for. You want to shoot for type 4. Okay, so I'm going to go on type 4 last. I'm going to just jump quickly to type 5. The type 5 is about 2%, maybe less than 2% of women that are on the site or sites. Okay, this group is dying out. This is the type of women who you know you're not attracted to on any level. You'll never talk to. You never ever talk to. But they try to message you anyway. Anyway, those types of relationships don't work, because you're not going to be happy being with somebody that you don't like. So it defeats the purpose. This group is dying off anyway. So you really don't have to worry about this group. There's not really a lot of them anyway. There's really not a lot of these types of women out anyway. There's mostly just Nigerian. 55% of the so-called women out there are Nigerian scams, Russian Nigerian scams. Now, this is what you want to shoot for. This is your goal, the 3% type 4. Okay, I'm going to do a quick rundown. This is the type of woman who is not exactly your ideal. They have a lot of faults. A lot of them are drinkers. A lot of them do drugs. So you have to be careful with that. Okay, these women are usually mostly always have at least one child already. They usually are in some sort of relationship or just got out of a relationship with another man. Mostly usually, they aren't mentally wrapped too tight. They aren't very mentally stable, but they're meet in the middle. I got a special name for this type. They're called meet in the middle group. And this is where you have a short snowball's chance in hell with these. And that's if you're lucky. Okay? This is why you pay your money for this group. Not the other 4 types, but this group. This is why you pay your money. This is the price of admission is for this type, the 3%. Maybe even less than that, 3%, the small 3% out there. Okay, these women are usually not your ideal. They're not usually your ideal attractively. They usually do not have themselves together financially or socially. But these are the type of women who will usually set up a first date, and you can usually, if you're lucky, even if you're lucky, get a first date with them. You usually may be able to see them on the first 2 weeks. If not, you move on. Because if they don't see you in 2 weeks, within 2 weeks, they're full of shit. A lot of them drag on, but if a woman sees you, she wants to see you, and you'll know it. You will see her in about 14 days after your first, I guarantee you, after your first letter. If it's gonna be that you're even gonna see her. So, on with the characters really quick. These are type of women who give you a first date. They usually give you an opportunity to have sex. Okay? Usually. The type 4, usually. Because these are the type of women who are looking for more. Okay? In life. These are the women. But, even that you have to be lucky on that, sadly. They usually, on the first date, offer sex to give you a chance at sex. At laying with her. Usually, she gives you a shot at a one night stand. Usually, one lay. Even if you're lucky, and that's only a 3% chance. 3% of these women out there, maybe even less than that. Maybe now it's 2016. Maybe one is down to 1 to 3%. Maybe less than 1%. But no, for a fact, no more than 3%. So yes, the odds are against you. So you want to shoot for those women. Another thing is your time is your money. Your time is precious. Most of all, do not waste your time, your precious time, on the other 4 types. You're gonna waste your time and money. Okay, that's the whole point of this video, of today's lesson. Okay, these women usually have some sort of mental issues. They usually have some sort of self-confidence issues. They usually at least guarantee you that they drink, smoke. So, get it in your head right now. If you're not the type that don't like smokers or drinkers, you can forget about it. Because they're gonna be one of the two. At least one of the two. Smoke, drink, or pot, unfortunately. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. So, yes, the dating world, especially online dating, is fucked up. All the good ones are taken. Then I guess you can call it a number 6 type, the married type, who are straight, good, they're cheesy in your face, but they're already married, and they're not going to give you the time of day because they're in a happy relationship. And they got a man that they like, and they like their man, so that's why they cheese in your face. That's a number 6 type, and if anybody can pull that type, please post a comment and tell me how you can get the type 6, the married type, and pull a one-night standard on a married. Sorry, you can't see that. On a type 6, which we're going to call the married type. I want to hear your stories on pulling a married type. If you can get a married type in bed to lay and sleep with you for sex, oh, you're the master right there. You are the king. You are the master. You are the stuff if you can pull a happily married type 6. I want to hear about it and how you did it, especially if you have little or no money and average looks. Another thing, before I go, this video could cut out at any moment, so just take home with you the things I've taught you today. Women out there, if they're attracted to a man, it doesn't matter. Guess what? It doesn't matter how much money. It doesn't matter how much money that man has, as long as that man attracts. I mean, physically attracts. Physically. It doesn't matter how much money, okay, that man has, as long as he meets this. Okay? And that applies to all six. That applies to all six types. And guess what? Men are the same way. Women don't like to admit it, but men and women, are equal, especially when it comes to attraction. Any type will almost always accept, take you in, if you look good in this respect, the physical attraction. If you're physically attractive to her in her eyes, because remember, beauty is an eye beholder, but most of the time it's universal. It doesn't matter how much cash you have. That is why, okay, the bad boy always, that's the secret to the bad boy, so-called bad boy, always gets his ladies, is because of this. It's not this, his cash, or his mind, what he has in his mind, or how much education that he has. You can throw all that stuff out the window. Okay? Education doesn't matter. The mind doesn't matter. His heart, his feelings, if he's a good person, that doesn't matter. You can throw that crap out the window. For bad boys, it's this. You can be a bum and a bad boy. But if that woman likes you on a physical level, mostly, which, yeah, a lot of it is physical, spiritual, or done on a so-called soul level, soul speaking, but a lot of it is on a physical scale. So, but men are the same way too, and women don't like to admit it. Women don't like to admit it, but men are the same way. Because women don't like to admit it, but women are made in an image of men. Because it's the women, okay, that glorifies the man. Woman, okay, man came first. Women came second. Women don't like to admit it, but the woman was made in the image of the man, so whatever the man wants is what the woman wants. Which, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but it always goes back to what looks good in the eye, which means what looks good on a physical level, okay? And the problem with this is a lot of us can't, at least are not in the position to change the way we look physically, okay? And we sure the hell can't change our cash situation, because if we could change our cash situation, we wouldn't be on this website in the first place. We wouldn't have time for it. So, best thing you can do, if you don't have a lot of money, and you don't have this, you don't have a lot of good looks, you're going to have to go for the type 4s. Find a way. Talk to as many women as you can, not only online, but offline also. Even if, get confidence. A lot of times I had a lot of opportunities to talk to women. I didn't because of wasn't my confidence, but because it was because of my, because it was because of my pride. A man's pride, well, a woman's pride too. But you get tired of a woman saying no, 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 no. And, that goes against your pride, and that goes in your soul. So sometimes it's not a good idea to always go and jump on a woman and talk to a woman that is going to say no to you, because that's another loss. That's another loss, okay, that's on your record, that goes on your win-loss record. And That's not, losses are not, try to minimize losses. You want to minimize. You want to keep losses as low as possible. Because you want to feed your spirit good things. You want to feed your spirit, well, guess what? As many wins as possible. As many wins as possible. That's why I wasn't necessarily, you'll know though, take good judgment. Go for every woman all the time, especially women. That's why. If it weren't for this, keeping my keeping my loss record down, I would be constantly talking to every woman I could talk to, regardless. If I knew she would say no or not, but my loss record would go way up, and that's not good for. That's just not good for you to keep taking hits like that. Period. It's not good for your mind, not good for your soul, and not good for your body. Okay, that's why you want to keep your wins up as much as possible. Okay? So with that said, go out there. Free sites, plenty of fish. There's plenty of fish. You know what the sites are. Usual sites. Ukrainians.com, dateukrainians.com, Match.com, but you have to pay. I wouldn't pay. If you do pay, do the $29.95 per month. That's all you need. It should only take you 1 month. Do not do the yearly, okay? It should not take you 1 year. No, just to find somebody. No. That is unacceptable. Anyway, will you have to pay like $149.99 for the year? No. If it takes you a year to find somebody, you have no, in the first place, if it takes you $149.99 in 1 year just to find somebody, guess what? You have no business being on the site in the first place. Okay? So don't pay more than this if you do go to Match.com. Please, do not pay, I repeat, do not pay more than $29.95. The 1 month. You have to be careful, okay, for the 1 month. You have to be very careful with this because they will try to say you save money and say it's $19.95 a month when it's really one easy payment of something like $149.99. Okay? This is unacceptable. Okay? Don't go for it. Don't go for it. As even if you do pay. Okay? So, that's it. I'm out. That's today's lesson. We did good for today. Please comment, rate, and subscribe. But most of all, comment. I need your comments. And if you can find that also illustrious number 6, if you can pull that number 6, please tell me. Or if you can pull any of them, except for the number 2. Except for the number 2. We need no number 2s. Okay? Or even if you're desperate enough, a number 5. Tell me your stories. I don't want to hear number 2 stories because that's just plain old depressing. I'm here for like number 1, number 3, number 4, and number 4s. Maybe number 5s if you feel. But mainly number 3s is your goal. Remember, comment, rate, subscribe. Tell me all of your... Go to my site. You can go to WEUNITESOCIETY.WORDPRESS.COM. Check that out. Okay, it's a really cool site. WEUNITESOCIETY.WORDPRESS.COM. You can go to that site. You can mostly come on here on this page and comment. Okay, fellas? See you next time. See you on the other side. I'm out of here. Remember, one day this is not going to matter anymore, your physical attraction. One day, okay? It's not going to matter. You'll be able to pull anybody you want, okay? One day, okay? If you believe in the Lord and you're a Christian. this won't matter anymore because the Lord has taken care of that. But anyway, that's for Christians. If you're not, I understand everybody's not a Christian, so I'm not going to get into that. I'm just going to leave that alone. Okay, that's today's lesson. Thank you very much for listening. Remember, women and men are really the same, okay? Because they both are after the same thing, really. Just in different ways. Okay, comment, rate, subscribe. Thank you.